We're here at Stotfold Conservative Club today. This is a 79 panel system producing around 25,000 kilowatt hours per annum, and it is set to reduce their bills by around 30% just with the solar panels, not batteries. They're installing batteries today. Hi guys, hi Stuart, hi Bernie. As we know, I'm Joe from Cahill Renewables, and it's really nice to visit after the installs happened. If you could you just sum up who you are and what the Conservative Club is?
Yeah, I'm Bernie Breslin. I'm the chairman of the Stotfold Conservative Club, and working obviously with Stewart on this project, and we're glad to have you guys here today.
Thank you very much, Bernie. And Stewart?
I'm Stewart Craig. I am an ex-chairman of this club. I'm now a trustee of the club, and Bernie has co-opted me as the vice-chairman of the club now.
And we're here to obviously discuss kind of your journey with renewable energy and exactly what the driving force is behind you doing that, and really understanding what the benefits are as well, and for the people at home to understand what are you getting out of it in terms of pound notes, but also carbon offsetting as well, and what you're doing for something great for the community as a whole.
Well, a couple of years ago, obviously coming out of COVID, we seen that the energy prices and the price in the market was going up and up. We were coming to the end of our deal. Unfortunately, at the peak of the price rise, we had to lock into quite an onerous price for our electricity and gas.
Wow.
And there was nothing else we could do in the marketplace at that time. There was only a couple of options. In fact, there was only one option at the end of the day. So we did that, and we effectively went on and looked at solar at that time, but we didn't think it was something for us,
right,
to be honest. But as we've now progressed over the last 12 months, we've looked more detail at what the options are to reduce our carbon footprint, to basically reduce our costs, because it's not sustainable at the high levels that we are now paying for energy going forward. So, for instance, we went from a cost of about 9,000 per annum to about 46,000 per annum in terms of our costs over that period of time.
So 9,000 to, what was that?
46,000. So this small business had to absorb that.
Wow.
You know, and it's a big thing to absorb when you've got you know, we're a community hub. We look after about 800 members, but you know, it's a big, a lot of money to actually magic out of the air.
We were lucky really, because we were trading so well since we put the members bar in. Our trade has gone up, our membership's gone up.
Right.
So we were able to manage through that first year. We had some cash reserves, didn't we, which we were able to go into. But lots of businesses in the same boat as us, and they were throwing the keys in. You know, there were businesses, small businesses just closing, they couldn't afford it. So we were forced into looking, necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? And there we had to think about other things.
So in terms of the funding for this project, because obviously it is a substantial investment for any business, and as we understand, this really isn't a for-profit thing, it's for the community. So how did you go about getting the funding for the project?
Well, we looked at various funding options, but the one that we chose to go down was the looking at our association, the Association of Conservative Clubs. We went to them and said we would like to do this, would you support us? And through various people in that organisation, we had some discussion and we got the funding from there. We also then, through various contacts we've got with Central Beds Council, knew that there was some grant funding that we could get from some agencies, and we went to SEMLEP, who are an agency who look at the Levelling Up Fund, etc., and give grants on innovation, green energy opportunities. And so we went down that route, and over a period of time we got a grant from them for 50% of the cost of it.
Wow. Okay.
So, and it was a big boost to make our decision that we wanted to go down this route. Yeah.
And that made a huge difference to payback, didn't it? You know,
Yeah.
you know, and I know you talk about payback, but for commercial premises, but you know, we're looking at possibly 3 years and that's it done.
So that's a 3-year return on investment on your initial investment from the club, which was 50%, because 50% was paid by SEMLEP. Yes. And that's for other people, so that's SEMLEP, was that? Yeah?
South East Midlands Local Enterprise Partnership.
Essentially, the solar is now covering 30% of your usage so far, isn't it?
And that's where we started the conversation with you guys. That was what do we think we can achieve from this?
Yeah.
And given that it hasn't been sunny, to get that 30%, we're delighted.
So if we look at that, if we take that across the year, we're creeping up to around £15,000 saving per annum. Okay, that's rounded up, but we are looking for everybody to understand the key benefits. 15,000. Now, is that what you expected from this?
Well, we didn't know what to expect. We were in the hands of the experts, which was yourselves. So we talked to a lot of people. When we started this journey, we knew absolutely nothing. We know a little bit more now, obviously, but the 30% was always the figure that we were looking at.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and we started off. You advised us that not batteries at this stage, but let's see how we go. So when we looked at what we put in to gather the energy, the inverters, we made it compatible with a battery. So here we are today, and we now know that we need batteries.
So looking at the specifics of the installation and the numbers and the interesting facts, have you got some stuff to share?
Well, yeah, when we started looking at this, the starting point was, well, what do we currently use? And we know that we were using north of 88,000 kilowatt hours a year. And therefore we then looked at the proposal which you'd given us, and that was looking at saving 30% of that. Now that 30% equated into well over £10,000 a year, which obviously that's just straight into our cash flow. So that worked well. And we're very happy to say that we're achieving that 30% and possibly more.
What's happened since the install now? So you've seen the numbers and you've taken some more action, haven't you?
Yeah, we've realised that whilst we're making that saving, there is a lot of energy that actually we could be storing and using in the evenings and times when the sun isn't here. We're a club, we're open from midday until midnight, some nights, 11 o'clock other nights. So that's a lot of time where the kitchen may be being used, a lot of energy is being used. So we've made the decision with your help and advice to actually put batteries in place. And that means that we can store this, we're harvesting the sun to store it in the batteries. So that's just brilliant. Yeah. And then the other part of that is that excess energy, which we are now producing as well from the array of solar panels, is able to be put back into the grid, and the grid make a payment, and it's circa 15 pence for every kilowatt hour. So that's something that we're working on at the moment, isn't it, Bernie?
Yeah, so we didn't have a deal with our current supplier to sell back the energy, which we're on board with now. So we will have in the next couple of weeks have that deal. But going back to what Stewart said, we didn't have the data until we had the solar panels installed to tell us that effectively we'd be overproducing during the day, particularly in the summer months. So therefore that then drove us down the route very quickly to get the battery installed.
As we speak, we have 2 installations. One is going ahead today with one of our members, and then another of our members will be having it done next week. So it's creating a lot of interest. People saw these solar panels being put up there and they ask the questions. So part of what we want to do is to communicate that out to the wider community in terms of not just our members.
Guess some of the staff, are they looking at the monitoring app and getting involved?
Yeah, I mean, some of the staff are getting involved, certainly the committee of the club are getting involved, and it's raised the profile and interest of solar power across the whole community. This is the biggest installation of solar power in Stotfold. So therefore it's starting to get spoken about amongst the community. And people who use our club feel proud to be associated with it, that their club, that their activities that they run in here are associated with a carbon footprint reduction, you know, and something which then makes the club more sustainable going forward. So one of the things that really sealed the deal with Cahill was we went to Buntingford to see one of your installs, which was a warehouse environment, which is much bigger than our install, and it wasn't pre-managed by yourselves. We went there, seen the guy, and he was absolutely gushing about the install, what they were getting out of it, how the system worked, the app. So that sort of really established for us that you guys knew what you were talking about. We had the confidence then that your install techniques were good, and you know, we wanted to work with you.
Yeah, and we do have lots of local hitching installs that we could have gone to, but we needed a commercial install, didn't we, for you to really tick the box.
I think the other thing that I would say about the process we went through is that because we didn't know anything about solar, when we were talking to you guys, as we were to others as well, the responses were immediate. It was quick, and there was, you know, we weren't hounded, but we got the answers very quickly, and we could understand the answers as well, which was important, and so that helped us to make that decision.
Now, if you would like a quote from Cahill Renewables after seeing our workmanship and seeing how our commercial customers have been treated, we are extremely happy for you to contact us via phone 01206 646 664, or you can email me, myself, at joe@cahillrenewables.co.uk, or the office at office@cahillrenewables.co.uk.